Okie dokie. So, everyone, hope the week was passable. Everyone is alive, so thumbs up to that. Haven't heard from Amric in the last hour, so we're not sure about that there, but at least everyone here is good. But, nevertheless, let's recap a little bit of last session. You guys had the Schlemazel dinner. Getting to see the... I'm sure some of you had either experienced or seen a bit of... It's not sibling rivalry, but just siblings being siblings. But not many get to see twins do it. And the constant bombardment between Laverne and Polly... It's almost as if they went back to 6, 7 years old. And you could just imagine slightly shorter selves on their chairs doing the same things to each other back then. It's good to know some things never change. But with this, as Vernon looked around and saw an empty seat next to his wife, about to ask until she quieted him, saying that they were about to have another guest. Shortly thereafter, Fiona, a very large, red-headed woman with a particular establishment that is starting to franchise across the different districts, made her appearance and sat down as an honored guest next to Annabelle. Polly at first didn't, but then quickly came to realize that she knows this woman, as a business relationship was understood between Fiona and Annabelle, and once it was known that Fiona knew Polly and Polly knew Fiona, some ribbing started happening in Polly's direction, in which Polly decided to nope on out of there. After he left the dinner, Bryn got some quality time with Hawkus, asking some questions. Kaporin got some quality time with Fiona. And all in all, you guys had a decently nice dinner. Slightly catered to your guys' group as much as possible with the information garnered. But eventually, afterwards, people started splitting off together, not really together. It was Polly and Richa that ended up, or Richa ended up going up after Polly, and Polly moved his way to his father's blacksmithing station. There, they took out one of the Criollo beans, trying to do some testing with it, and in the process, destroyed one of Vernon's hammers. At the same time, the ruckus was heard, thinking that Vernon was still open, and a customer, not so much a customer, a liaison between the military and Vernon, came asking around, and Polly took the dossier of items from him to hand to Vernon later on that day. Or so should have happened. As the rest of the group... Richa made his way back to the dinner party as the group was about to leave. Richa tried coordinating everyone to go while he stayed behind to try and talk and listen in on the conversation, which, as much as everyone loves the funny bird, was not welcome on this time.
I tried my elevator pitch. It wasn't well received, though.
Bryn and Amric got roped in with Laverne, Vernon, and Hawkus in a bit of drinking. Little after dinner, just a couple of cold ones. And I believe after the sixth or seventh one for you, Bryn, you had to call it quits. Amric made it a bit further, making it all the way to the second to last bar. Actually beating out Laverne, who made it to the third to last bar. But, nevertheless, it was left to Vernon and Hawkes to close down the final one before going home. Bryn was carried by Laverne to their room, dropped off with Nori to be taken care of before she went back and excused Bryn from the group of drinking. Now, Amric had a bit harder of a time getting out of there, becoming completely unconscious and lying stone cold on the tavern floor of the second to last tavern. He was dragged off, luckily, to the same inn, at least, but put into a separate room, as they did not know that you guys were there. And he has yet to come to consciousness. The rest of the group, after Polly went back and talked to his mother for a little bit, everybody else in the group found their way to slumber eventually, before some much worse than others, before waking up, mostly everybody at least, and dealing with the repercussions of the night prior's decisions. Bryn facing the most brunt of it right away. She was given a Criollo bean by Richa as a pick-me-up. And without understanding what to do with it, the guys decided to steep a little bit of the Criollo coffee, giving it to Kaporin, Bryn, and I believe Polly.
With one extra cup for Amric that went into his room.
Correct. And with that, Polly divvied out some information to the group of where people might find some interesting things or people to talk to. Nori being led to Mazoga at the nursery. Kuporin being led to the Eye of the Newt, the library, in which I believe Polly said you would catch up with him later. As far as Richa and Bryn go, I'm not sure if you guys got dictated a place where you guys might find it interesting.
We were all heading down to the southern gate, except for Kaporin.
That's right. Most of the other guys were going to talk to Hawkes.
I had a specific reason to go to Mazoga, though. So I wanted to talk to her about my bow.
All right. So as the group let Kaporin go off on his own, he ended up having a compatriot walk alongside him, one he had not seen in a while, as Luke of the Lute walked beside him, had a short conversation before disappearing, as Kaporin found himself in front of the library. Now, as this last about 25 minutes or so has gone on throughout the day, it was an overcast morning, a bit muggy, but rain has started to not pour, but a constant bit of rain has now kicked up and seems to be a more constant effect. So as you guys are walking down Kaporin, you see people eagerly clutching their already purchased artifacts from inside the building, trying to put it under whatever piece of clothing that they can, though it seems to be wrapped in some sort of wrapping paper. People going in obviously weren't dealing with the water as they went in, so they weren't prepared for it coming out. So a couple people kind of rush past you really quickly. As you're starting to open up the door, they kind of just burst out and run through. A smaller, mousy woman, sorry, and kind of just continues on. you hear the proprietor from inside. Well, come inside or close the damn door.
Sorry. And Warren calls out as he comes in and closes the door behind him.
Stand there, stand there. Don't move. You see an elderly human, probably in his early 70s. Still keeps himself proper, standing upright. Walks over to you, though a bit slower than a normal person would be. He kind of claps his hands together and spreads them apart in front of you, and you just feel this warmth sort of radiate out from his hands towards you as you sort of get air heat dried. Don't want you ruining all my stuff.
Definitely would not like that.
Books do not like water. In case you didn't know, which doesn't seem like you're the type of person that would appropriate one of my establishments. Is there something specific I can help you with? We unfortunately do not have any of what these kids now call manga or things of those nature.
I'm not too sure what you mean by manga. Is that
Good.
Who?
Don't worry, because we do not have it here.
Oh, okay. No, my friend said I should come check out this place. Check this place out. Skamazzle. So he just directed me to this location.
You're the friends of the Slummazzles? Which one?
Polly.
You did not choose wisely.
Did I get the short end of the straw?
Whoa, with the dwarf jokes. I mean, I know you're tall, but come on. No one likes a racist.
He has proven to be a good friend in our travels. I greatly appreciate him.
He's not the most friendly towards books Schlemazel of the group, but he's also not the worst. If you had said Laverne, I'd kick you out right now.
Oh, she does seem a little dangerous on her side.
Especially to books.
I care for my books. I have one that I've carried around with me for quite a while now.
Let me see it. He just puts his hand out. Is it
sure.
a diary?
Oh, no, not anything like that.
Okay, let's see it then.
Warren reaches into his bag. Like, he knows where it is because he usually pulls it out when the girls are around. Like, he just reaches back and pulls it forward. It's like, here you go.
He, with a speed that you weren't expecting from him, as just him walking was a little bit slower, he kind of snatches the book, slides it, spins it around, and flicks through like the first 4 pages, getting past like the blank page, the opening title, and all that stuff, like instantly, and then like kind of just like shoves his face down and just speeds reads like you've never seen. Like you're trying to like just keep up with his finger as it's moving along, and you're like, oh, I'm getting nauseous. Well, seasickness is starting to arise.
Oh gosh.
But he burns through like the first 3 pages. He kind of stops, looks up at you, looks down at the book, skips a few more pages, and just starts hopping between paragraphs, like reading a sentence here and there. I think we can do business.
Do you have something? Ooh, I'm glad to hear that.
This, and he closes it and slides it back to you, is decent. But we've got much better stuff in Ixia, especially here.
I'm glad to hear that. I've been enjoying this book on our travels so far, but definitely needed something else to pass the time in.
Well, follow me, as he starts to walk down one of the aisles.
Oh,
So, is there something specific that piques your fancy?
Looking around over the titles, do I notice anything? Or like, is the shelves labeled or anything like that?
No, the shelves aren't labeled. It seems to be a hodgepodge of different, like nothing. It's not alphabetical. There doesn't seem to be any numerical situation. It seems like he probably, like, personally asks everyone what are they interested in, and he knows where everything's at, so he just directs you.
Well, as you know already, I'm interested in these types of books. I'm also looking
but
one for.
what type of book? Are you more interested in gritty, harrowing adventures? More interested in more of the fantastical situations? More of a down-to-earth, in-the-earth type of thing?
Well, that last one sounds like something my other friend might enjoy. I'll have to get something close to that. But the harrowing adventure is more of my speed. You know, the heroine gets the gorgeous, the good-looking, and they live happily.
Now, tell me, preferences. Nowadays, people are interested in all sorts of combinations. Are we more of an open book, as I'd like to say, or are we more of a strict and precise type?
My pages are open to read if anyone was so.
Well, in that case, let's see what we've got here. And now I've got to pull up the book list of smut that I had to create for this store. I learned early on from Matt Mercer to just eventually make a list of these.
I mean, Porn picked up one pretty early so he's bound to find another one sooner or later.
All right. Now, are you more of a... you said a harrowing adventure type of thing, right? Well, we've got the Rigid Kingdom. That's a series of books. We've got the Court series. Starting out here with... wait, where is it? No. Where's the Court? Court. A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Very interesting.
Yes, that one's got a 5-book connection. We've got the Fey Chronicles, if you are into a bit more, and he kind of points to ears and the points, just like kind of like gesturing to yours. If you're into more of an elven flavor, we've got the Kingdom of Ash. It's part of the Throne of Glass series. Then we've got the Horsemen. Now, bear with me. Not like centaur horsemen, but in the 4th book there is one of those too, in case you're interested. Just
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind.
We've got the Honest Scrolls. That's a good series. And then we've got the Black Dagger Brotherhood. That's more of a... how to say, a tryst-like rendition of our own Assassin's Guild. And those therein. You may have heard of Valek and Yelena.
Is this book written about them?
It's a work of fiction, of course, but some things in it are true. Just other things are not.
You see the pointy ears kind of just perk up. It's like, Alrighty, yeah, I think I've seen it. I see a couple that I might be interested in. You were right about the Fey Chronicles. That does sound like an interesting title. And I think I'll have to take that Black Dagger one as well. Black Dagger? Excuse me?
Yeah. It's the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And if you're buying two, I guess I can put one in for you for free. This is a dealer's choice.
Oh.
This one is called it's the Blood and Ash series, and the first book is called A Kingdom of Fur and Flesh.
Oh. I'll be happy if you suggest it. You know your thing, it seems.
It's a pretty new series that has just come out not too long ago, and it talks about a battlefield romance between two fighters, one on the side of Ixia and the other from the Shernau werewolves. Both caught as the last sole survivors of a battle down in Sitia. They decide
it was made for you.
They decide to lay down their arms and lay in each other's.
Say no more. I will buy whatever you suggest to me at this point, but I will have to take that last one.
So for the 2 plus 1 for free, you're looking at. You got the Black Dagger, and what was the other one?
Black Dagger and the Fey Chronicles.
Okay.
And then Kingdom of Firm Flesh, you said was a.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So just so you know, the Black Dagger is a 2-book series. The first one is called The Dark Lover. The Fey Chronicles is a 2-book series. No, 3-book series. First one's called Fighting Destiny. And then the Kingdom of Fur and Flesh is the Blood and Ash series, which is 3 books as well.
3 books as well.
So you don't have all those books. So if you wanted to come back and purchase the other ones after you get done reading, then that's what you can do. But the first books of each are 5 gold apiece.
So 10 gold plus the free book, right?
Yeah.
Coin then would also relate to the old man. He's also looking for a book for his 2 female friends of the group.
Well, putting it like that, we've got Between the Silk Sheets. We've got... I forgot some of these names I put in here.
Having fun, Val? Having fun?
We've got the Bargainer series, which
You have a what?
the Bargainer series, which the first book is called A Strange Hymen.
I just want you to know you did this to yourself.
Hey,
you
hey,
100% did this to yourself.
If you guys want to know, these are all, though things are slightly changed, these are all actual smut books you can buy.
Oh, I believe it. 100%. You still did this to yourself.
Oh, I know, and I'm loving it.
Like, I've heard these names before.
Then there's there's the Sister Saga book, the first one being called Omega's Gambit.
Yeah, well, my friend is a fighter and a druid.
All right, what does that have to do with lesbianism?
If you have anything like of an earthy title would be nice, but if you have anything of recommendation for your high recommendation, you don't have to explain it to me. I'll buy it outright. I just want to see what you would give them.
There's the Harbinger series, the first one called Storm and Fury.
Noise the storm, burns the fury. Starting this session out strong with some smut.
It's how we do. As far as anything nature related, you guess the best that would sound nature-y is the House of Earth and Blood.
Would the bookkeeper highly recommend that for
a druid and a fighter?
For the known couple?
Well, I mean, he would actually recommend. Where is it?
I'm so glad you have a specific recommendation for us, Val.
Yeah. Some Girls Bite.
One's like, say no more. Here's 5 extra gold. Or does it cost more?
Nope, that'll do. That'll do. 5 gold.
So he hands over the 15 gold.
That can be used as improvised weapons, correct?
It's improvised, of course it can
Yep,
be.
and it works off your strength.
Beautiful. How thick of a book are we talking? Does that change anything?
Some
I feel
Girls
that
Bite?
changed.
Hardcover.
Oh, these are all
Damage.
hardcovers. He only deals with the best of the best. Come on. If you're asking about the book Some Girls Bite, you're looking at probably like a 250 pager.
Smaller than a Harry Potter book. Not bad.
The first book in the series is usually the shorter one.
But Warren happily gives over the 15 gold and will pack the books away in his bag.
And the Some Girls Bite is about lesbianic vampires.
Ooh. So we have to go down to the Bloodgood lands.
Those are orcs.
Blood.
Good.
Done.
Anything else that I can help you with?
You've given me some great reading material for the road and something possibly, 2 books possibly great for my friends here.
I should make an Amazon link to these fucking books.
Kaporin could just order them via the owl.
All right. So with your 15 gold, your 3 books are packaged separately from the single book. Saying that is for women. He puts a bow on that one. but one's a fighter, so he like doesn't make it a fancy bow. It's more of like a simplistic bow. And yours is just wrapped in paper and twine.
Thank you for the added touch.
Well, a gift needs to look like a gift.
Very true. Very true.
And trust me, that one's a gift.
I'll take your word on it. Hopefully they enjoy it well. Warren will just put an extra two gold pieces on the counter for the great service.
Come back anytime, especially to get your next books.
I'll have to come back and get more of the series.
And
So
with
then-
that, you put them away in your bag, kind of put your cloak back over the top of it so it helps keep it dry, and head back out into the rain. Now for everyone else, you guys are heading down towards the southern wall. Myriad of loud kabooms and explosions can be heard already, and different puffs of smoke on the other side of the wall can be seen, kind of scattering through the sky as it dissipates. But as you guys are walking, the rain starts to come down. This doesn't seem to let up on whatever they're doing. Nori and Richar, are you guys breaking away before you get down to the south wall, or going to do it after?
Well, I know Nori wanted to actually go to Hawkins first. I remember her wanting to like double back, so she might have left already. But
Trying
I
to
feel
think,
like
'cause
I was gonna say, but I feel like Racha would have come here anyways.
lost my train of thought. That's sad.
Yeah, because I know you'd gotten the notification from Trentamir, so you wanted to kind of go to Hawkins and be like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah, that's essentially what I wanted.
Did you feel that too, bruh?
Hey, is this a new thing? I was told there's another peace holder here beforehand. But is this a new development? How worried should I be?
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
will leave you alone, but I do need to talk to you later.
Yeah, it's fine. So, all in all, you guys are all together as you head down.
Just dropping them off and then heading back up to catch up with Kapoor and swinging by my dad's shop on the way.
All right. So by the time you guys get down, Hawkins is where you guys saw him the day before, over by the stables, actually, helping with unloading and divvying up different things to different regiments that are practicing outside the south wall. As you approach, he's currently in conversation with looks to be about 5 different individuals. 3 of them Duragar, 1 Dwarven, and then 1 taller, you're guessing woman, because she's skinny, under complete robes because it's raining, so they're cloaked up. The dwarves and Duragar don't seem to fucking care about the rain. They've got nice thick eyebrows that kind of block their eyes from any rain, and they're good to go. So, the Duragar and dwarf end up walking away, and Hawkins continues talking with the female. And as you guys are approaching Nori, you see... So you guys are coming up from the back of this woman, and it's all dark black and slight green robes. Where her head's at, where you're imagining the back of her head is, you see 2 violet eyes appear in the back of the hood. Almost like they're being burned through the hood. Like, almost as if she's facing the other way around and she's got 2 violet lamps pointing out from the hood. Hawkins, with this, kind of looks around and then sees you and kind of waves you guys over. As you approach, the eyes follow you and track you until you get about 15 feet before they disappear. As you He's gesturing towards you, Nori, specifically. And as he starts to walk, and you can hear Hawkus. And her name's Nori. Come here, Nori. You see, as she turns around, black as night hair, very pale white skin, human woman. But her eyes are two violet crystals. No pupil, no whites, just straight violet crystals. She's got black eyebrows, a very soft, delicate features to the face, but it comes down to a hard point on the chin. She's a little bit taller than you, Nori, not too much, maybe about 5'8". And she kind of just stands there. Her arms are disappeared somewhere within her robes. Everything kind of just seems to blend together.
Yes, I thought I sensed something. The last one that came through here sought me out first, so I thought, let's pay it forward and seek out the next one myself. Wonderful to make your acquaintance, Nori. I'm Violet.
It's nice to meet you, Violet.
Just a creepy, almost porcelain smile kind of creeps across her face.
Nori looks visibly unnerved.
She kind of turns her smile to Hawkus and she goes,
Such an innocent piece.
Nori will nod.
Hawkus kind of grins and nods along with it. Yeah, she hasn't had to really deal with too much of this craziness yet.
I've only had it for about a year.
She kind of just turns back to look at you.
I can tell.
Poor thing. Looks quite uncomfortable. Such a
Unopportune spot to have it.
She kind of closes the distance between the two of you, almost uncomfortably.
Nori leans back a little bit.
I was gonna say Bren probably gets closer.
You see the two stones sort of create their own light. Not ridiculously bright, but if you were to put your hand up in front of her face, you would see some violet reflection. And she's kind of just scouring over your face and then down to your neck and up again.
Much more. Well, now I know why. Avenoria
Why?
Renferin.
That is not my name.
It was the one given to you as a child. That's all I'm saying. Now I know why the piece is connected to you. I have a bit of a...
She kind of brings her arm out now, and you see that her arms weren't in the robe, they were actually in sleeves, but the sleeves were so rolled up, into itself that you couldn't tell. And she brings up her hand and kind of goes up to her own face and goes,
I have a bit of a sight that lets me know things. But yes, that's not your name anymore.
Still figuring that one out.
don't worry. If... And she kind of slowly gestures her hand towards your stone and just taps it with a finger.
This is any indication. You might be figuring things out for a while. That's not a problem. Just know don't look for the first answer for things. You usually won't find the correct reconciliation until about the 4th or 5th.
What?
She just smiles back at you and leans back again.
All right, Arcus. I've come and got what I sought. Keep a handle on your...
Well, she kind of just gestures towards the hammer, which is like quivering now, kind of like wanting to go to you, and then go to Violet, then go to you, and then go to... It's like jittering, and Hawks isn't having a hard time holding it. It's kind of like the dog on the end of a leash. Hawkus kind of like lifts it up as it's still wobbling. He goes, "Don't worry, I've got it. Doesn't leave my side."
Oh, yes, if it did, I'm pretty sure it would come to one of our sides pretty quickly. And I'd hate
And
for
as
you to
you
lose
said-
your hammer.
As you said, it's rather an inopportune spot for me, because it keeps moving.
Yes, and it'll continue to do so until you've decided things.
What does that mean?
You can't even really decide what your name is yet. How could you possibly fathom that Trentamir could decide where to be on you?
Nori feels called out.
So with that, she kind of brushes the hair out of Hawkus's little top knot he's got. And she kind of just pats the side of his balded head.
Like I told you, I don't want any more pieces. Well, that doesn't mean if one comes to me, I won't take it.
Hawkus kind of just smiles at her. And goes, "Well, trust me, if it's coming for you, you better be quick. Because she might have it in an inopportune spot." Gesturing to you. "Yours isn't much better." She nods. Walks backwards a step and turns. "Till next time." And she walks past you, Nori. And then she just, as she's walking away, she just eyes fixed on Rachaw the entire walk.
Yeah, he's just sort of like, he'll keep his eye contact with her and just sort of nod and go, "Still trying."
And she's looking you up and down and then to above and behind you. And she's just kind of scanning you. And then she just walks past and continues on down the street. Until, as you guys kind of watch her, she gets about 10, 15 steps away. And almost like static. She kind of shudders and jolts and then disappears.
Well, that was terrifying.
No, she just likes to... Well, to be frank, she likes to whip it out and really let you know what you're dealing with. She's fine. Harmless, unless you go poking the bear.
Well, I got my answer.
Oh?
I wanted to ask you some questions about this.
Like,
Do I risk my life with every piece added? Will I either die or almost die every time?
only if the piece is bigger than the one you've already got.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because then it's an inner turmoil thing. I'm sure you know about the whole each piece is a different part.
Yep.
Gotta see which one wins.
Is
And
it possible then, if the bigger piece wins, that it would still be with her, though?
well, obviously, I wouldn't know what happens if my piece didn't win. Not bragging or nothing. But, from what I've heard, and from what I've witnessed of my enemies, if a piece loses the battle, the dominating characteristic now takes over. But if during the battle the host gets killed, and then the piece also loses, the body is consumed. And the soul.
Interesting.
Think of
That
it like
puts-
your piece fighting another piece as you tried to absorb it. And your piece loses the first fight. Instead of it dying, you die. And it gets another life, another chance to fight. And so, if it loses again, the piece is absorbed, loses characteristics, and the body gets absorbed. Hence why you can still find some pieces not on or in people. Because those people have lost the internal struggle of the pieces.
And if you are killed by it, which I was, how am I still alive?
Your
He
piece
brought me
probably,
back.
yeah, your piece probably won.
Okay.
Though it lost the first fight, it ended up winning the war, or so to speak.
Interesting. I'm going to be more careful now.
Not sure there is more careful for you, Mari.
I was gonna say, I hope you were pretty much as careful as you could have been.
With the information I was given, yes.
Is that all the questions?
I have another one. Hypothetically, because I don't see it happening. If you lose your piece, does anything happen to you because it's not attached to you?
Me?
I mean, just because, like, Violet's and Nori's is
Well,
on their person,
you see,
so if something happened to them, kind of,
yeah,
But yours is in a weapon.
it was attached to me at one point before I moved it to my hammer. During one of the battles that the two pieces were having, I was able to remove it from myself and implant it while the battle continued on. I didn't really fear for my piece losing, as it was 4 times the size, but it was enough for it to detach and relocate. Took an awful lot of me to do that, though. Not an easy task. Ended up losing an entire arm to do it. Took 2 years to regrow it.
Wow.
Unfortunately for you and someone like Violet, that's not really an option. So for me, if my piece lost, or was taken from my hammer, it would immediately try to cling to me. And then there becomes that new fight, but it is what it is. To be fair, I can't go more than 500 feet away from the crystal. So if my hammer decides to take a round trip down back to Cydia, I'm going with it. I learned that one the hard way. I was flying for a day and a half.
Oh no.
You can't sleep when that's happening, by the way.
Yeah, I could imagine as such.
How did you get that far in the first place from it then?
Oh no, it was flying. And at 500 feet, it decided to take me with it.
Richa having flashbacks of going towards Nori with his flying sword. If anybody's looking, actually, Richa is very concerned and worried. Look, as much as a bird can look, and he's not really trying to hide it.
You okay, Richa?
How much of how I lost my piece can I actually talk about? Like the fact that it's gone, at least.
Yeah.
He'll hold up his sword and point at the hilt or the pommel and go, I lost?
What's he saying?
He had a piece at one point, and he lost it.
Kind of looks curious. A piece was in his sword? No. That sounds more like a gift than an actual piece. Sort of a altered version of itself that allows for transference of some power. Your piece must have been either really enamored by this bird or really desperate.
It would make sense if it was both. I believe at that point it had been years since it had been increased. I had gone through some rough patches.
Now, do you know how many pieces are in there?
Nope.
I could tell you.
Please do.
He looks over at you, Bryn. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt her. And he kind of extends his hand out for you to come closer.
Nori will cautiously come closer.
And then he's going to kind of jump out and grab you by the neck and kind of like lift you up. It's not like tightening on your throat, it's kind of like underneath your jaw instead. So it's uncomfortable, but he's not squeezing the life out of you. And you see Bryn kind of like instinctually like jump, and you no, it's okay. Like you can still breathe and talk. He does have his palm against the crystal, but it's not like smashing it in. He kind of just sits there. He's holding you up and staring into your eyes, and you see the whites of his eyes turn purple. Everybody else sees the crystal inside the hammer start to glow and undulate a little bit before it gets a little uncomfortably long. Like a solid 45 seconds of her just choke holding her in the air. Whereas like people have stopped and like are looking like, should we do something? And then he kind of like shakes his head and snaps back and lets you go. Lets you, just kind of like a little bit of a tap. And he's, well, You got about 37 pieces in there. Seems more than half of them are a recent addition.
Wow. You know, it makes sense that I died then.
Remember I told you guys, your stone was about half the size of the stone on the eel.
Damn.
So you were
I'm so glad I rolled a 20.
I have... Where did I put it? I think you were at like 13 pieces. And then the eels was 24. Yeah, the eels was 24.
What quantifies as a piece? It's
Just when Trentamir was shattered into however many pieces he was shattered into. Just because it's a piece doesn't mean that it's like a solid crystal. It's not like 37 pearls. You know, there is no homogeneous size to these pieces, like physical size. But Polly, you hear that, and you see the size of Nori's, and then you think of the crystal underneath Lingvi.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I've told them about it.
Oh, okay. Well, keep that in the back of the mind.
And how far does it spread underneath my skin?
That you can feel. So it's the diamond shape, and you can only feel depth, really. It doesn't like spread outwards. It just goes deep. And deep wise, it feels, at least with your finger and everything, as far as you can tell, half an inch.
I imagine that would be uncomfortable.
It moves with you. Like when you touch it, it's hard crystal, but as you move your neck and everything, it's almost like fluid. It contours with your skin. It's not meant to be an impediment to you. It's supposed to harmoniously live with your body.
And how, because it's changed a few times, how does it get under your skin without you feeling anything?
Well, how do you grow new skin without feeling it?
Suppose that makes sense.
How many pieces are in your hammer?
Then how do you
turns and smiles
communicate
at
with
you.
this guy? What?
Oh, he turns and smiles at Bryn as she asks that question. 296.
We'll pat Nori on the back and go, you can take him.
She's like, no, she can't. Shut up her jaw.
Violet over there is about 530... 34, 35? Couldn't really get a good estimate. But to be fair, she's twice as old as I am.
Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I may look like a hearty 240-year-old, but I've seen my time.
And how would I go about contacting him to just talk to him and try to understand what the hell is happening?
It depends on your piece. Like, fortunately mine, being a bit of a... He kind of like swings his hammer around a little bit. Head smasher that he is. I can only talk to him after a kill.
Because I've only spoken with him 3 times.
Yeah.
And they all involved not circumstances that I don't know if I'd like to repeat.
Not all pieces are as chatty as others. And sometimes there needs to be specific circumstances to contact. And other times it might just take a lot more energy for him to talk than other pieces.
I know it does take him quite a bit of energy to speak.
Yeah, some pieces are downright chatty. And talking's the easiest thing for them to do, but they usually don't get decent benefits from it. Whereas others give better benefits and aren't as talkative.
And as far as pieces moving to other people,
You must have done something or had something happen to you that... Well, some people have gone to give sort of a breakdown of how people are characteristically. And they decide that that people usually fall within a set of 9 alignments. And when something happens to you that is so drastic that it changes what alignment you fall into, would be enough of a shock to make a piece want to leave, especially a young piece like yours.
young.
We use young in terms of you have 37 pieces, so think of it like 37 years. I've got over 200, so mine's a bit older if you want to use that terminology.
Nori is 37.
Would you look at that?
Well then,
It almost
I was
like
thinking about
it-
something, but I got distracted. What did you say?
Like it's almost like a reflection of you, Nori.
Doesn't like talking.
Usually keeps to herself.
Likes to
doesn't
be a
say much.
snake.
I think I've been I've been a snake a few times. Well,
A flying snake.
well, the alignment. Yeah, that makes sense. I had a rough day.
But if you changed and then it came back, that means you changed again. Right? I mean, that doesn't really make sense. It would only move for what, a day? 2?
Yeah, just about 24 hours.
What happened in that 24 hours? Besides your mom getting her head cut off and you having to watch it.
Seeing Oryx.
And
And what else happened?
Pawn.
Pawn.
You goblined up. Which brought you right back to Avita.
I went back to my roots.
Yep. Which, between the two of those things, was enough for you to revert back, alignment-wise.
What did my alignment jump to, out of curiosity?
Neutral evil.
She was very murdery for a second there.
I debated whether you'd gone like full neutral, but I was like, technically neutral evil because it is straight murder. Even though it's a murder of a douchebag, it's still murder. Sorry, everybody. I feel like it's 20 questions with me. You guys have any other questions?
Nori's Zoom just crashed.
The best time.
Just so much information Nori broke down right there in front of everyone.
You'll
Your new computer.
the losing piece regained.
You talking about your piece, Bird?
Just nods.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a actual piece that was given to you. It was more of a gift. Once that gift gets returned, at least I don't know of someone receiving it again.
Returned, and he'll shake his head no.
Not returned in the colloquial sense of actually returning it, but whenever it leaves you and goes back.
Goes back. Always?
Yep.
He'll just sort of look over at Nori's neck and look very concerned about it all.
Yeah, Nori shares that look with withdrawal. Well, would I know all of that? I don't think I would. Never mind.
What was
I
that?
don't think I would know.
I mean,
Think about-
was Nori witness to the purple flare of my piece going away?
I think we all were present when that happened.
Well, it's more of a question of, was Racha the only one to actually get that sense of it being incinerated?
Yeah, in that regards, it was just a you thing, and that was more of it being burned away from your connection. Like if you were holding a rope connected to Trentsamir, your rope got burned.
Yeah, and well, like the reason why he's looking at Nori's neck right now and is worried, like, is because it's like, what sort of damage did the piece or portion that I have bring back to hers?
Mm.
And like, I don't know how to communicate that exactly, but he'd be trying his best to communicate.
Well,
that.
he's also explaining it to you that he didn't give you a solid piece. He basically just kind of deity-wise or patron-wise gave you some power. And once that connection got burned, he still has his own power. It's just that connection is lost, which is what you.
Yeah, I'm saying like a connection. There's got to be two burned ends, though. That's why he's worried about it. Not that.
That's why
That's
Haka
just his
said
reasoning.
that
Yeah.
he wouldn't be able to. Usually, he's never heard of that happening, and then you getting the gift back. So, if anything, that's the main effect of it, is that it's damn near impossible for you to get it back.
For sure. He's not really even looking to get it back. He's now just turned his focus to how much damage did I cause to Nori's is his worry now.
Is I increased the piece after we had the whole debacle with him losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that's a lot. Thank you for answers. That is very much appreciated.
Feel like I should Open a school or something.
I came into this with zero knowledge. I'm already doing better.
Maybe like an after-school tutoring session or something like that. I don't know.
Some pieces are just out in the world, not attached to anything.
Yeah, he's pretty good sounding like me.
Where?
If I knew where, well, I wouldn't be at 297.
Such an insane thing.
Shaw sort of has an idea, but I'll act on it later.
Anything else, you three?
When I started to see this piece, it wasn't active, and I didn't have any connection to it. And it was like that for about a year before it essentially turned on, and I don't know what caused it to turn on.
That's a conversation you need to have with him. I'm not all-knowing like a god or something.
Well, asking you questions is giving me what I should ask him.
I'm just a friendly NPC.
Much appreciated.
A noble pile of coin. Come on.
A full circle, that's the noble to the barns.
So is everything you brought for the town?
No.
Got anything extra in there?
What do you mean by extra?
I don't know. Seems pretty helpful for them. What might be helpful for us?
Well, he kind of reaches back around and grabs, like, on top of a barrel of something. And as he spins around, he rolls a barrel in front of him, throws what looks to be, like, it was probably used to cover up a portion of a cart at some point, but it's like this big linen that he throws over the top of it and goes, Hawkins is hawking of goods at your service.
It's amazing.
You like the word hawking? I feel like I'm trying to make it a thing. I was
No,
able to
it
make
works.
I was able to
It
make
works.
fetch happen last year, so I'm trying to make hawking a thing.
I don't think I've heard of fetch, but I believe you.
Don't worry, it's fetch. All right.
Got it.
So, what can I get you? What are you in the mood for? What's your coin purse jingling after?
I don't know. Whatever the hell they were throwing was interesting.
Oh,
Definitely got our
chemical
attention.
fire. We've got a few of those. And he pulls out 3 of these spherical, looks like glass, but it's tempered. So the glass is very hard to break. But inside, it almost looks like ale. It's a very golden liquid that it fills the sphere about halfway up, and there's a wick that goes inside down into the liquid. Each one of these. Hold on, let me get my actual thing up before I give you guys a whack-ass discount.
We love whack ass discounts.
Appreciate that, actually.
I'm on board with whack ass discounts.
It was like a 50% off right there. Can we get the family and friends discount because Polly's technically family?
A good businessman never gives out family discounts.
Someone should tell that to, God damn it, what's her name?
Valar?
Yeah, Balar.
His brother? Yeah, there's a reason why he would say that. So the alchemical fire, 50 gold apiece.
And you just light it and throw it.
Aye.
Nora becomes a grenadier.
If we get these, we just can't tell Kaporan about them.
Oh, definitely not.
Cha.
As
don't
Rachel's like
tell
already like
Kaporan about
over the
them.
top of them, like checking them for construction and.
His head is like in the barrel, and he like when she says his name, he's like, "What?"
What else you got? I'm sure you have.
Oh, we've got a
Many
whole
fascinating
host of
things.
things, but what are you really looking for?
I don't know. Don't normally deal with this. I deal with a freaking sword, not
I've got
this.
swords.
What? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What's up? What you got,
Talking to
bruh?
me?
Weapons?
Okay. Let's go.
Increase your dragon horde.
What kind of
I
sword?
need to replace mine. My poor baby that got lost.
What kind of sword you looking for?
Well, I lost my
Long sword, short sword.
longsword is what I've been using, at least until I lost it.
Rachaz, in the meantime, off to the side, scribbling frantically on paper with his calligraphy supplies.
I've got a couple long swords. I don't want to
assuming-
bring them out right just this moment, as too many prying eyes on single items might start questioning. But how fancy of a sword are you looking for? Is the real question.
Oh, the one I
range.
lost. Gold range? Oh god, how much was the one that she bought? The flame sword one? I don't remember how much that was. I don't know.
Nori is fully willing to put in her gold for this.
I think the flame tongue sword was like the one expensive purchase you really did, because everyone else had already started purchasing expensive shit. She's like, you know what? For me, once I think it was like
Yeah,
1,500 or something
yeah.
like that.
Sounds about right.
I deleted it, so I don't know. Once it got sold,
No, you
lost
delete. Okay, I was like, once I lost it, no.
no. Once it sold from the store, I removed it from that store.
Gotcha. Probably between 1,500 to 2,000 gold, I guess. I don't know. That's about what my last one was. I missed that one.
Friend goes from the flame bitch to the ice bitch.
Yeah,
But if it's, I'm not opposed to going more if it's worth it.
Well, how much more?
And how much more are you talking?
Well, I've got something that's around your 2,000 mark. That is pretty.
How much around?
About 2250. But I've also got one a bit more in the higher registry.
How much higher?
Hold on, I actually pulled it up.
And they ever think that we would actually buy something so expensive?
I've gotta actually like go into my notes section and do the little search bar and pull it up.
I'm so glad I asked.
Oh, it's not in this page. It's the other page. This page. Okie dokie. Well, that is right? Hold on. Where'd it go? I believe that's right. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. Alrighty then. Well. About 7,000.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can do that one right now.
It's understandable. It's not for everybody.
What is it?
Well, if we're not making the purchase, I'd rather not. It's always a tease to be told something that you know you're not getting.
I mean, it's an option.
Yeah.
Well, this particular longsword that we're talking about has a few charges on it. And if you're fighting certain creatures, especially large ones, when they get down to a certain health, getting some wounds on them, every hit that you make, especially if you score precise hits, gives a chance to tear the life force from its body, immediately slaying it. Now, this one is fresh, so none of its charges have been used, but once the charges are done, it loses this specific property. But it does keep its extra bonus to cutting and slicing. So, on top of the life force thing, it is a +2 bonus to attack and damage.
It's unfortunate.
It is the 9 Lives Stealer Longsword. If a creature goes under 100 hit points and you score a crit, they need to make a DC 15 con save or be slain instantly.
If we get that point, we're really gonna have to work on counter charms.
That means she could swing at one of us and die immediately.
That's exactly why we.
Yeah, so don't stab me, Racha.
The child would look towards Bryn and just go, I mean, it's an option.
Isn't America like at 101? He's like technically the only person that wouldn't crit die immediately.
I feel like that sword is very dangerous with how much HP we have and our tendency to roll ones.
And swing on ourselves.
Yep. True.
or get controlled.
We
Hey,
haven't gotten
JJ.
controlled many times. It was just we tend to hit each other.
JJ comes in, controls Bryn, and just Echo Knight style kills everyone in the party with Bryn.
Yeah, maybe no.
Oh, that
What's
one's
the
a
other
little.
one?
This other one.
The 2251.
Okay, this one's just gonna be easier just to say what it is rather than try to RP. It's called the Long Sword of Wounding. Hit points lost to this weapon's damage cannot be regained except through a short or long rest. So no regeneration, magic, or healing can be used on the creature that loses hit points to this long sword. And then once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, you can wound the target at the start of each of the creature's turns. It takes 1d4 necrotic damage each time you've wounded it. It can make a con save to end the effect of all wounds. And a wounded creature or a creature within 5 feet of it can use an action to make a wisdom check and end the wounds as well. So it's like a free extra d4 damage after you hit them, unless they continually make the saves. And it's more for like one-on-one fights. But it also stops from regeneration, which some creatures that can regen, that's a bitch to have to deal with. Especially certain like undead creatures that have undead fortitude plus regen.
Rolls.
That one's 2250. But that one does not have any plus to bonus attack or damage. So that's its off situation. Mainly because when you damage, you wound. So you automatically, if you hit, you automatically get an extra d4 of damage. Because they can't stop the wounding until their turn, and they take damage at the beginning of their turn. So it's kind of its balancing factor. That's why it's not at the higher end of the price scale. Because it is a rare weapon, and rare weapons can range from 500 to 5,000 gold.
I'm so bad at making choices and decisions.
Oh, she's thinking about it. Anybody else interested in some wares?
Will flip over his notebook and he holds up one of the bottles of alchemical fire. And he goes, "Pass a bottle," and points down at the thing. And he basically has a picture of his Tommy gun blowgun with a grenade launching canister attached to the bottom of the barrel.
Underbarrel grenade launcher?
Yep, exactly. An underbarrel grenade launcher that he would like to have modified alchemical fire bottles that fit into that sort of a barrel.
He's looking at it. kind of takes your quill from you and says, well, the safest option is, and basically what he creates on your picture kind of puts an X through the underbarrel and then puts almost like a trebuchet on the back of the thing. So basically how you hold your gun, how it's, underneath your arm, so you squeeze with your arm to make it shoot. The trebuchet connects out the back and like flings it over your shoulder, almost Predator style.
I like it. It's like a wyvern tail kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
And basically uses your shoulder and your back as a stopping mechanism to fling the... It's that cross arm that trebuchets have to stop it and send it out.
He's all for it.
So
He's like,
basically,
fascinating.
it would just take the alchemical fire. You wouldn't need to modify it at all. And it's got a simple strap on it, so like you can have one loaded. Like if you're holding it, have one loaded without having to worry about it falling out. And you can make it. He's got artificers with him.
Yeah, Richard would like to help with the making of it, but he would definitely be looking to make it.
Let me see which artificers are here. That'll dictate whether or not they want people.
Is it Noir Heart?
Let me see. Durgar, where the fuck are you? There you are.
Throgho? I can't even read my own word. I don't know how to say. I can't pronounce what I wrote.
It's Kikuna. It's a female Durgar.
Nobody I've met them.
Unfortunately, no. She's... Roll a persuasion check. She's picky, but she's not against it 100%.
Got a 15.
Yeah, that's enough. She would make you sit off to the side and watch the entire time. It's not going to be it's not going to be a fast process though, because she's making it from scratch, and she's using a lot of her magical tools to do it. But if you're willing to pay for it, with her time and Hawkes's intermediary tax, you're going to look at like 300 gold.
Sounds good to me. And is my like...
It'll come with one alchemical fire too.
Sounds good. Would I be... Is it like upgrading my weapon? Is it becoming like a rare item, or is it just staying what it is, but it's getting an attachment?
It's staying what it is, getting an attachment.
Sounds good.
I will create that and give you the item for it later. Let me see how well she does, because this will, if you get any bonuses or not. Let's pull up.
Can she roll that advantage because I'm assisting her?
You're watching. You're not assisting. Kikuna. What's your stats? Okay. All right. So with that, instead of it being she rolled altogether she got a 13. So, not bad, but not great. Instead of it being a 20-60 range that it was going to be, it's now a 40-80 range.
Wonderful.
So, like grenades and flasks are within the 40 range, you want to throw it at them, you can do so easily without any checks or anything. If you want to throw it between the 40 to 80 range, it's going to be a dex check, which you're pretty good at, so it doesn't really matter.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'll make that note. Where's my pen? Motherfucker, where's my pen? There it is. 40 and 80. Okay. So Rachad taking care of Nora. You interested in any goodies?
I don't know. Maybe?
Well, he's much more of a, you tell me what you're looking for and I'll tell you if I've got it type of guy.
Nari the Druid has no idea what she's looking for.
He's like, I'll circle back to you. Have you decided on the sword, Bryn?
I think I'm gonna pass on the sword and give my warhammer I have a fair shot before I dismiss it first.
Okay. Circle back to you, Nori.
How much are the alchemical fire things? I think I want to get one.
50 gold.
I will buy one.
Okay. All right. With that,
I'll buy the other two just to take them.
okay. So 100 gold from you, 50 from Nori.
Can I have one?
You're
I'm like looking at Bryn. Just like
Yeah, she'll just be like, here you go. She'll still pay the 100 though.
I need a reload.
this one's for experimenting.
Just not next to Kaporin. I feel like if he knows we have these, we're in big trouble.
You're lucky Kaporin's not here right now, then.
It's the only reason I've even asked.
With
Can
that,
Do
Hear
not
Kaporin playing
tell
the distance?
Kaparin.
Hawkus.
Can I hear Kaporin playing in the distance?
No. Hawkus pulls the linen off the barrel and kind of kick slides the barrel as it rolls back next to the group of other stuff, and he tosses the linen to the side. Pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you.
Don't mind, I gotta make sure no one dies. And he kind of like spins, turns around, and walks away. Now, further down the road, Polly, you've made your way back towards the last intersection, or last spot that you saw Kaporin, roughly in front of the inn, and started making your way back to the Eye of Newt, and sort of holding their backpack tight under their robes, coming back your way, you see a decently tall Kaporin kind of trudging against the rain.
Crap, I was going to go a completely different way.
Oh, which way do you want to go?
By my house, because it's faster, and I need to drop something off.
Okay. We can do that.
Yeah, I was going to go straight up and past the house and see if my dad had gone to work yet.
He has.
Then I will run to the shop and run in and produce the manifest
As you kind
that I
of,
forgot to give him the night before while he was drunk.
when you hand it to him, he goes, "Oh, this is what they were talking about."
Sorry. They handed it to me out of nowhere yesterday. I forgot about it. There was a lot of things on the plate last night.
First my hammer, and now this.
Yeah, so about that.
You see the hammer kind of just split open with the handle just kind of kicked off to the side, just over next to one of the lesser used anvils. It seems like he kind of tossed it this way when it started to break.
Yeah. Well, kind of my fault. I was trying to open something and it didn't quite work, and sadly enough it broke the hammer, and I did my best to fix it, but well, you know how good I am with an anvil anyway.
Well, what the hell were you trying to open? A woman's heart?
No, a bean.
kind of just looks at you, squints
Like,
his eyes.
seriously, a bean, and I will pull out one of the Criollo beans and hand it to him. Like, it split the hammer in like 3 pieces.
He looks at the beam. Looks up at you. Takes one of his tongs, grabs the bean, shoves it in the fire, waits 5 seconds, puts it, and squishes it with his thumb.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there's that. Yeah.
What are you doing with these beans? These are highly illegal.
What?
Yeah. These are magic siphoning drugs.
One, didn't know that. 2, bought them in Fulablatt. And 3, they actually make really good coffee.
There's a vein in the side of his head that contracts from his temple up to his forehead. You've seen it pop and twitch a few times, mainly with stuff Laverne's done. And then every now and then when he's tried to teach you something and you just weren't getting it, it like goes from nothing to just straight full on. And well, I would suggest not making coffee with it, as too much could kill you.
Oh. I mean, this morning was the only time that I mean, I made it one other time, but it was like a year ago. So, yeah, okay, I will keep that in mind a lot. Wow, that's wow. Hey, have you seen Laverne around anywhere?
She's probably playing with fire down at the south wall.
Shit, she's down there.
It's fire and explosions. Of course she's gonna be there.
Fine. Yeah, I gotta... Shit, okay, well, there's that.
Yeah. Because he holds
promise
the
I won't,
manifest.
yeah, yeah, sorry it was late. I mean, you were out, I couldn't really give it to you, and then you came home, and I couldn't really give it to you, and we were, you know, anyway, there's that, and I gotta go find Kaporin before he gets in trouble. And I will back away and out of the smithy.
Hold on, before you go.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
He looks at the list. I need you to go buy Ghosts and Phantom. And he starts to, like, absentmindedly with one hand, he's going through a coin purse he keeps on him, and he pulls out 20 platinum, puts it in your hand, says, I tell them I need all the stock of gypsy powder.
Notes. Yes.
And he actually put these in different little pouches for you. So it's the 20 platinum for the gypsy powder, 10 platinum for the twisting nether, and I need all their iron slag that they've got. That's 10 platinum for that.
Wait. Plat. Twisting. Nether. 10 plat. For slag. Okay.
And then 5 plats. Oops. Where is it? There it is. Go to the mining plant.
Okay.
Find Orifek.
Plant. Find. Orofec.
Medium-sized dwarf. wears his blonde hair and a spiky mohawk.
Blonde hair.
Tell him I need 3 subterranean charges.
3 sub charges. What, are you gonna blow up your smithy and claim the insurance?
No, I need the phosphorus from inside.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Everything else on this list I can get myself.
Okay, so you need gypsy powder, twisting nether, and slag from Ghost and Phantom, and I need to speak to Orifek, who has a blonde mohawk. And I'm supposed to get 3 subcharges.
The last part was the only part that was right. Ghost and
What?
Phantom, gypsy powder.
Yeah. Okay.
Twisting nether, iron slag.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that the Twisting Nether is an actual place. Okay. Yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah.
And I need it back by noon.
Okay. Yeah, well, we need to be someplace by noon, so I will hurry.
You've got 2 hours.
Also, wanted to talk to... Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. Wanted to talk to you about one other thing. I know it's really not well, I mean... I need some plate armor.
All right. Just regular
And if
plate?
you have it... Huh?
Regular plate?
I mean, unless you can do some... I came across some money and I don't mind paying for it. I need better armor.
If you want me to make you something specific, I can detail some plate I've already got made. But
Right. That's all I'm hoping.
if you want something extra, then I'd have to requisition some of the magical stuff.
No. I don't need magical stuff right now. It's already expensive enough.
Yeah, you can tailor something to you. Anything specific?
I mean, something that fits. That's all I really, that's... Oh, and God, another thing. My friend Bryn is looking to get like a special flask. Would I go to you for that, or would I go to somebody else for it?
Seeing as how I have this list plus your plate, probably someone else. Tristing Nether would probably be able to take your request for that.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to overwhelm you. Obviously, you've got a requisition that needs to be done before. Okay. Yeah.
500 of these? Jesus Christ.
They ask for a lot for somebody who's not at war. Yeah.
It's all the new
okay.
recruits.
Sure. I will. Yeah. I'll get out of your way, and go do this, and go find my friend before he gets himself into trouble. Love you, bye. And I will make my way as quickly as possible to the Eye of the Newt, and hopefully catch Burn before he leaves.
If you're rushing it, you wouldn't catch him before he leaves, but as you're coming down one end of the street, you see a decently tall figure wrapped in his colors heading and cutting a corner.
And I will yell, hey, Kaport, come here. Wait. Where are you going?
What? Oh, hello, Polly.
Hi, I thought I said I'd meet you at the Eye of the Newt, but okay. Hey, so we need to go get your requisition for tomorrow, right? Still?
If you want to, I'm in no rush. I have some new reading material.
Okay, yeah, shoot. I mean, I have to run some errands for my dad real quick, but, do you want to come with? I mean, it's not super boring.
Oh, sure. I don't mind coming with you, or point me in the right direction. I did quite well on my first trip.
Yeah? What did you get? What did you find? And as we're talking, I'll start walking towards
Well, I found a few books for myself.
Ghosts and Phantoms.
I found a few books for myself. Some great titles that he offered me. He seemed to have known you.
Yeah, we don't get along too well, Books and I. So booksellers and I don't really get along too well.
He said something about that. I didn't quite believe him. You seemed quite sane to me compared to some of the people I've seen around.
Well, let's just say booksellers don't like slobber on their pages. Because I tend to fall asleep while reading.
I could see that. I hear your sister's a lot worse.
Oh, so much worse. Oh, so much worse. That's why she does what she does and I do what I do.
Something about, like, I wouldn't be allowed in the store if I was friends with her or something. Something like that.
I mean, you might have to prove yourself to be in there, but I mean, it's not as bad as just, going in there and buying books, I guess.
I picked quite a few books, 3, and I also got one for the girls, off of his recommendation.
Yeah, like what kind of books? Like storybooks or like, barding books or like magic books?
They would sell magic books there? I'm just like puzzled.
I mean, you never know what you're going to find in the back of a bookstore. I don't know.
He offered me this book for the girls. As he kind of, Kaporan just kind of takes his bag open, opens it up to show it to the Polly. No wait, a Kingdom of Firm Flesh. Was that the one I got for the girls? Kingdom of Firm Flesh?
No, you got for the girls one. You got
That girls
some girls bite.
something that bite. Yeah, some girls bite.
Is that a cookbook?
No, I don't think so. It might have recipes in it somewhere, but
you kind of like open the book just absent-mindedly to like see if there's like food, like pictures of food or something. Definitely not pictures of food. Well,
I mean,
if you're a
food for
lesbian
someone.
vampire, I guess it could be food, but
it's food for someone.
So monster books. Okay. I slide it back in immediately without looking at any more pages.
it's like the fanfic for Twilight.
Oh. Sadly, Polly would probably be into that, but.
And then I have some other books I can show you back when we go. I don't really want to ruin my books out in the rain here.
Yeah, fuck the girls' book
let's-
here. Rain.
Let's not do that. And we will head over to Ghosts and Phantoms.
Okay. Decently busy right now. But as you guys run in, there's a gnomish boy kind of darts around the different patrons. Hey, what can I get you?
I need all of the gypsy powder you have.
Oh, that's going to be quite expensive.
Yes. Vernon Schlemazel sent me.
Oh, okay. In that case, he kind of like looks over, sees that probably his mom, who's running the store, she's like dealing with like 3 people at once. I believe the contract was for 40 platinum.
I have 20.
Okay, hold on, wait. And he kind of jumps back, going through. And she kind of like looks over and shakes her head no. Is 50 platinum?
I have 20.
Okay, well, maybe talk to Vernon and come back?
Maybe just give me as much as 20 platinum purchases and send it over.
Okay, I can do that. And he kind of jumps back, comes out with a wheelbarrow with a decently thick cloth over the top of it. Kind of lifts it up, and you see about 9 bags of this like soot-like material. He opens the top one to show you what it is. You're guessing it's the stuff that they need. And, like, looks good to me.
I mean, I've gone shopping for him before, right?
Yeah, but gypsy powder is specific to what he's trying to make right now.
Okay, yeah. If you could have it sent, or if you could take it over there. Yeah, I've got a couple more places to stop. Yeah, if it's not what he wants, then you can get yelled at. And I hand over the 20 platinum.
Okay. He'll make a note of it and says that we're swamped right now, but once we get a break, he'll wheel it on over to Vernon.
What time is it?
It's like 10 a.m.
I would offer to
Yeah,
bring it
Kaport, I
to
might have to drop
Mother.
you off.
I mean, I can find my way back if you just give me the directions, Polly. Or if you know where the others have gone.
Where's the Twisting Nether?
It's over by the companion, over near the academy. It's a blacksmith. It's right above the companion.
Perfect. I will grab Kaporim by the cape and head over there.
Twisting Nether is a conglomeration of like 6 to 7 blacksmiths that all have like individual tents, but they all cohesively work together. Allows them to mass produce items for the city. Since Vernon's the weaponsmith, this is more of like the overall blacksmithing for the entire city.
I will go in. Hey, if you want, and I hand Kaporin like a couple silver pieces, go ahead and go across the street over there to the main market and grab us some pretzels. They have nice hot ones.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Or
salt
in
on
the-
mine, please.
Also yours, okay. Warren.
The proprietor of this stand is Philip J. Wetzel.
Hello.
Human male.
Hello.
Plain salt or cinnamon.
One
on.
salted, one cinnamon.
All right, 2 silver.
Hands over the 2 silver.
Expensive.
You get the 2 pretzels.
Thank you.
Smack, smack. Next.
One's like, okay. Crap. I just tucks the pretzels into his cloak, and he's just like, fine, okay.
A lot of places
Anything
that
else
have
in-
cover, a lot of buildings and such that are enclosed, are a lot more packed than usual. The streets being less empty as the rain has kicked in, so every store is busier than normal right now. Either people just trying to hide as much from the rain as possible, or actually purchasing things. So it's just making everything more cramped and higher stress.
And while he's doing that, I will go into the Twisting Nether and get some slag.
Easy enough to do. They already have a companionship with Vernon, so they said that they'll load a cart and send it over in about the next 20 minutes or so.
Perfect. And I'll hand them the 10 flat. Excellent. I appreciate your ness. He'll be expecting it. Thank you very much.
And as you kind of turn around and start coming out, you see a very like bewildered and deflated Kaporin, kind of just still in a like a little hyper sense, as he got moved so quickly that he still is kind of like that clinging stress of like, oh shit, like, okay, where do I go now? And so he's kind of like quickly moving across the street towards you,
Hey, what's wrong? What's going on? Did you get him?
I think I do. Or pulls out the cinnamon one first. Like this one, right?
No, the salted one.
Oh, okay. Reaches into the other pocket, pulls it out.
Slow
This
down,
one, right?
Yes, slow down. You're gonna give yourself indigestion. Seriously, just like relax for a second. We have plenty of time.
We were so busy.
Yeah, well,
was one-
yeah. And once you try one, you'll understand why. I get it, but they got you through pretty quick, right? You didn't have to wait in line too long.
Yeah, he just slapped me around a little bit and threw me away. It was just like, okay.
Well, you know, it's kind of like a soup Nazi, but with pretzels. You know,
No soup for you.
the faster you're in and out, the more he likes you. So we are literally right underneath the academy right now. And I will walk Kaporn up to the gates.
Corn snacking, pulling pieces off of his pretzel and just snacking on them. Where are we now?
We are outside of the academy.
Oh,
We are literally almost on the other side of the city. Right behind us is the wildlife sanctuary. So when it's not raining, it's a lot nicer, obviously. But it's a fun place to just kind of walk around and relax if you want to get away. Get away from city life.
I don't mind the rain.
I don't mind it either. It's just wet. And it gets everything else wet, and then I have to dry it off. And then I have to deal with my mom telling me not to trip on the floor. But here we are at the gate, and I will walk up to the guard. Is there like an awning or anything, or are we just literally standing in the rain right now?
It's one of those like wooden slat cutouts that go over the top, so
Okay.
it doesn't really protect from the rain at all.
Yeah.
It's mainly for shade. But
Okay.
you can like kind of stand in different spots because the beams are decently thick to where it gives you at least a reprieve from the front of your face or your back or whatever.
Okay. And I will walk up to the guard. Hello? My friend would like to petition to enter the library tomorrow. If we could fill out the paperwork, please.
The guard kind of like, because they're in like those single person stands, like they'll cut, and so he kind of like looks at you and then looks at Kaporn and Kaporn's size, and then like looks down at his paperwork. And the only place to keep it dry while he writes is inside the stand with him.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
"All right, come here." As he gestures you forward, Kaporn.
Oh yeah, and have your government ID ready, Kaporn.
Government ID? One just reaches into his back pocket. You mean this thing?
The plastic
That's
one
the
from
one.
Seattle.
Pretty much. I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, Kaporn would have forged documents.
Didn't they give you guys IDs in the last town that we were at? Wait, you're
No.
telling me you don't have a government ID?
Well, I'm from Sitia.
They're illegals.
I played out. I played out in the woods half my life, let alone had an ID. What the hell is this ID that you're asking me for?
I mean, Racha has one. Why don't you have one?
Picture of a bird.
What's wrong?
I mean, Rachel probably made his.
No, he was given one the last town we were at. Like the port
places.
town. You were given one.
I don't remember any of that, in all
Yeah.
honesty.
Patrol gets around to places. I wouldn't be surprised if he had one, but
He's got 6 passports, 7 IDs.
He's an
Money
accidental
stashes everywhere.
He's an accidental con man. Just
Yeah.
has a bunch of aliases.
Yep.
I mean, Kaporn pulls out Kaporn can pull out his documents that he carries around with him, but
Fake.
it's forged.
Well, I mean, fine, and I will go up with them and show them my paperwork.
So after everything's kind of situated, he like pushes himself up against the side of the thing, allowing you to kind of like half come in to fill out the paperwork without getting everything drenching wet. And after you've like signed your name, the date, and the time that date and time that you want to go and where you want to go to the library, he kind of just like, all right, and he kind of like just pushes you out and finishes up the paperwork and says, come back tomorrow for acceptance or denial.
Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you.
Stay dry.
Okay. Then I will go around the corner and send him down. So I have to go south. I have to go to the mining headquarters to get one more thing for my dad. But there's a store. Just take this road. Okay. I know it kind of diverges, but stay on the road. It's going to take you diagonally through the city. You'll pass an herbalist. You'll pass another weaponsmith. You'll pass a restaurant called the Siphon. If you want to stop there for lunch, pretty good. Not the best, but you know. But if you keep going, there's a store called the Skeleton Closet. And I think you'll really like what you find there. And then after you leave there, if you keep going down another half a block, that's where our inn is.
Okay.
Got it?
Horn's like, diagonal down. Okay. I got it.
Unless you want to come with me and then I can take you there. But it's kind of out of the way.
If you have something to do, I'll try to find my way. I'm fine.
Just follow this road. You're going to go 1, 2, 3.5 blocks to the Skeleton Closet. And at the end of the 4th block is our inn.
Horn just gives like a 2 thumbs up and he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's really easy. You'll be fine. Just follow the street.
And you send Kaporin
out into the world.
Out into the world like a tourist in Paris.
Yeah. Well, the market's on the way, so I wouldn't be surprised if you got lost there. And I will head down to the mining plant and get the last item on the list.
Okay. Okay, so heading down to the mining plant. Orphic is a easy dwarf to spot, as his blonde mohawk, done in the punk rock style of spike, 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 stands a good 1.5 on top of his head. So, in the sea of dwarves that is around here, he's easily point-outable. And he seems to be some sort of like foreman rather than an actual worker, because he's not down in the actual plant itself, but outside, sort of coordinating.
Yeah, I will run him down. I mean, not like stalking or anything, but I will definitely walk over to him and wait until he's finished.
Kind of turns. Sup, can I help you?
Yeah, I am here on behalf of the Dirty Basilisk. I need to pick up 3, because I keep switching pages, 3 subcharges.
Oh, Vernon getting into that crazy shit again. All right.
I guess so, yeah.
Hold on, let me go, you hit this box up. And tells you to wait outside as he goes into this smaller, like, shed. Before he comes back out with what looks to be like 3 buckets, at least size-wise, and they're cylindrical in shape. They've got 16 of these smaller, it's like 16 cylinders, all conjoined by interlocking bars in the middle.
Okay.
Almost looking chandelier-esque. And the main metal pipe down the middle has a fuse coming out of it.
Okay, like fireworks, basically, but bombs.
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay.
Except it's all TNT.
Yeah, except that, so obviously I shouldn't be getting this wet.
Yeah.
Are they large enough to, or small enough to carry, or?
They're like bucket size.
bucket size. I mean, I can definitely carry them. It's just whether I can keep them dry.
If you ask for any help with that, he kind of like look around and
Yeah, like, I'm going to take these directly back there. Is there any way that you have something that I can put over them so they don't get wet? I don't want them to get ruined.
yeah, there's actually a few buckets nearby that he'll just go ahead and pop the bottom out of. Like he'll cut a decent sized hole so that that first long middle pipe can come through, and there's a handle on it. So
Okay.
you basically have a bucket sort of creating a hat for these contraptions.
Okay. Excellent. And I will hand over the 5 platinum for them.
All right.
And then I will head back over to the smithy to make sure that the stuff from Ghosts and Phantoms got there.
Yep. By the time you arrive, they're actually currently unloading the slag. Looks to be about 6 full-on barrels of slag are on the back of a cart that they are currently unloading. Looks like probably 7 altogether, but 6 are still on the cart.
Okay.
As 2 of the people from the Twisting Nether are currently offloading it and dragging it around to the back in a protected area of the Dirty Basilisk.
Okay. I will go in and ask my dad if Ghosts and Phantoms had been by yet.
Yeah, as you come in, you see the wheelbarrow full of
Okay.
the soot stuff.
Yeah, that's all I could get for the money that you gave me. They said that they wanted like 50 platinum for all they had. So they must have gotten a really big shipment in.
Ugh.
But here are your subcharges as well. And I will place them away from the fire.
All right. He kind of is just like in the middle of talking to those guys to make sure they put it in the right spot, dealing with coordinate everything. He acknowledges and thanks you and gives you a platinum for helping him out.
Oh,
And
Thank you.
he's kind of just like doing everything right now. He's getting ready to mass produce, so he's sort of putting things in specific areas so that way when he finishes, he can just start the next one immediately with all the pieces.
right. Have I seen him do this before?
Not for a long time.
Okay.
You've never seen him work with phosphorus except when you were a kid.
Okay, I was going to say I'm going to help them unload and put things in the correct spot, but if I haven't seen it in a while, I will stay out of the way.
Yeah. When you bring the subcharges, after telling where things to go, he's mainly focusing on taking apart each one of those sticks and separating the phosphorus from the rest of the stuff.
Okay. And then I will head down to the barracks where everybody was already, and I have to go all the way down there now to find Laverne
Go
for
find
lunch.
Laverne. All right.
Yeah, I'll actually stop by my parents' house, and grab lunch for us if she hasn't already, and take it down.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do, and your mom would say that Laverne's hit or miss to come home for lunch, so you taking it down there is a bit off her mind, making sure that Laverne eats.
Yeah, just so I can catch her and have a talk during lunchtime,
Okay.
or whenever.
Yeah. All right. So for the 3 of you that were down at Hawkes's, after Hawkes turns around and leaves you be to make sure that no one's dying under his watch currently, what do you guys want to do?
Bryn's just along for the ride at this point because she's still, I'm sure, hungover a bit. And she's just like, I'm going to hang out with Nori because there are now 2 pieces around. So she's worried about her.
I had pointed out that the nursery is right next to the gate as well.
That's what I was going to say. We head to next because Rachel wanted to go there as well.
Well, we can plan.
Easy enough to go to, especially with asking around. There's one other orcish individual who is down at the stables. You saw him the day before, and so asking him where the nursery is from Azoga, he would point out the general direction and how to get there.
Head on down.
So, going to the Common Fawn, which is the name of the nursery, this nursery actually expands quite a ways. You've seen some housing blocks be smaller than this nursery. But luckily it's all glass, so you can pretty much see through the entire nursery without impediment. And such nicely polished glass too that it almost feels like the entire thing, because it's actually like multiple greenhouses, but since it's all polished so nicely, it's almost like looking into a bit of a jungle. You're seeing things from ranging from stuff that you know only grows in Cydia to stuff you've never seen before.
I was doing odds or evens for whether or not Rachel runs into the window because he's a bird. He ran into the window.
So as you guys are all approaching, Rachel kind of excitedly going up to a certain small tree that seems to have pulled some sort of memory from the past. It's a tree from where you guys were, where the flock used to live next to the river. And so you're like, ooh, ooh, and you start to go over and just... You guys just see the wall kind of shakes a little bit from the impact. Rachel broke his neck and died. Just kidding.
Wow.
The worst case scenario.
The only person to kill Rachel is Rachel. And glass.
Death by glass window.
Went out on his own terms.
Is he doing that bird thing where they just lie on the ground stunned for like 5 minutes and then they get back up and fly away like nothing happened?
I think he's more of just stunned looking at the glass like, what? And then like touches it.
Richa, it's glass.
Immediately understand.
But looking over this entire area, you do see decently tall, so she kind of stands out. Mazoga is currently walking through. And as you guys sort of like veer to go catch up with her, coming down the same aisle that she's further down, you see as she's walking by, all the plants seem to lean in towards her as she walks by. The larger vines that kind of grow from different portions and the tops of stuff all kind of like sway towards her, almost like she's magnetic to these plants to a degree. And she's kind of absentmindedly, looks like she's maybe writing something or whatnot. She's got focus on immediately in front of her, and her head down as she's walking, but she occasionally, as one plant gets a little close, she'll reach out with her hand and touch it, almost like petting it, like you would a dog or a cat. And it kind of, you can see it kind of like lean into the pet before she walks away, and it kind of like lingers for a moment before returning back to its normal spot.
Balls. Alright. Let's talk to the really cool druid.
She turns a corner, but is just going to turn and go down the next aisle. And she... can I help you all?
Polly said we could talk to you, perhaps.
Yes, of course. But what can I help you with?
Or he's just gonna look down at Rachel.
And dear, if you're going to be a druid, at least connect with something. As she kind of like, from the other aisle, kind of like points down, and you see this this little flower, maybe about 7 inches tall. It almost looks like a sunflower, but it looks like a very juvenile one. The petals aren't very big, and the centered piece is probably only 2 inches wide. But you can see as you're standing there, it's kind of like leaning towards you because you have your hand on the table, like kind of talking through the plants and over to her. And you see your right arm is decently close to it, and it's kind of like leaning, almost like like a baby, kind of like if you can feel as a druid, you could feel a baby kind of doing this, like pick me up, pick me up. This little plant, this little flower is kind of like doing that to you.
So Nori's seen this happen to Evita quite a bit, but it's never happened to her. She just like tentatively reached out, like this is the first time a plant's reached out to her, and she just gently taps it.
As you kind of like go and touch one of the top petals, you feel it kind of like fold over your finger, like a little hug. And then as you kind of like move it back, it kind of like got what it wanted and kind of just like resumes back to its normal position. You've seen this reaching out before, obviously to Evita and higher end druids, but Evita had a few plants that she always connected with, like constantly, almost as if they were her children that were always around. And you know that when a druid, especially a decently high level one, is constantly connecting with the plant, it doesn't. I mean, obviously, she could give it sentience, you know, the spell to actually make it come alive. But if they connect with that plant constantly speaking to it, it basically creates a personality for the plant. It doesn't quite give it sentience and awaken it like the spell does, but it's enough to, you know, give it character and make it want to have a will, supposedly. So you're guessing if she's doing that for all these flowers, she must spend a lot, like all these plants, she must spend a lot of time here. Like if one of them is either she's super powerful or she spends a shit ton of time here if one of them's reaching out to you. Which, to be fair, you haven't been around Evita's plants since you've gained power. So you're not sure if this is just a Mazoga thing, or if now that you're a little bit more in tune druid-wise, this is a thing for you that you can just do now.
Well, that's the first time that's happened to me.
Well, keep it up. Practice makes perfect.
That bitch bowed to no one.
No, that'd be the plant
Exactly.
behind you.
What's the plant behind me?
There's a giant Venus flytrap that has its mouth kind of like open awkwardly at the back of Racha's head.
ready
Nori's
for-
going to gently move Racha.
It's not like leaning forward or anything, it just happens to be at that height. And as you move Racha away, you see it kind of gain 6 inches in height as it goes back to its normal height.
He's just like, huh? Okay. It just walks forward a couple steps. If Nori's not going to talk, Racha will pull out his cactus and go, just show him the tip.
You're showing the cactus from where again?
The one I purchased from the herbalist back in the wherever I bought those grenades and stuff from.
Right. Okay. She'd look at
Have
it.
you ever brought this cactus out before?
Probably not. I mean, I would have brought it out to take care of it and stuff. I'm basically just keeping a house plant.
She'd look at it and be like, she'd point to a decently far off nursery, and you could see some taller versions of what you've got there, as well as some other. Because yours are very much more like New Mexico style cactus, where they have like the large, thick spikes. Whereas, the other ones that have like a million tiny little spikes. So you're kind of like, ooh, I didn't know they made different types of those.
Yeah, he'll sort of just go wandering over to that pack of cactuses and set his down next to it and like introduce it and is like, "This is Charlie," and just start talking to him all.
That's perfect. So Nori, kind of very nervous about this. She goes, "Okay, I lived with a rather powerful druid for over 20 years, and I've seen some insane things, but I've never seen a half-wild shape before. Or the heal with the moss thing. I guess, how did you do that?"
Well, I'm sure your druid friend would tell you that spend enough time with yourself trying to bend the edges of what is known, you can create your own thing. How do you think all the magic and all the spells and everything that has ever come to be came to be? It's all someone getting an idea somewhere, and people writing them in books, naming them Monster Manual and Dungeon Master Guide, and there's been quite a few editions. Obviously without the book part, but yeah, she said everything else.
Including the moss thing with the heal spell.
That's more of a flavor. When you get as inundated as someone like me, you can manipulate things to how you would like it to perform.
From scale of 1 to 20, I'm only about a 9, so not quite there yet.
That's an interesting scale. Whoever would come up with 20? Why not 10 or 50? That seems more like logical situations.
I know. It just was such a weird way to put it, but that's how I meant to put it.
She spends too much time with wizards, I think.
Yeah, she does.
Wizards of a coast. It's all coming full circle, people.
Yeah, you just
I had to.
Don't let numeric values or don't allow restrictions on anything that you do yourself. If you have enough ingenuity and connection, you can make things tailored to the way you like it, or just make things completely of your own. Like the half-wild shaping I did. Took me years to finally figure out how to make it a thing.
I feel like at this point, Bryn would start like wandering off and looking at the flowers nearby.
Well, actually, here there's a full cadre of snowflowers, almost like a small field.
Oh, we're gonna go have fun with that.
There's snowflowers. There's these. They almost look like snowflowers, but they have light pink petals. And then there are these like. They almost look black, but it's actually like really dark red. They're called blood petals. They're a little bit bigger than snowflowers are, but have the same overall design. But the interesting thing about the blood petals is that when you pluck one of the petals from a blood petal, it turns orange. Sonori.
I'm just figuring out how I want to go about this because you told me a while back that I would only be able to get to level 14 because that's as much as I was taught. So now I'm wondering what I should do.
I'm back at level 14.
You have 2 master druids to learn from,
Yes.
both well past level 20.
They always seem very busy.
One of them isn't dating your brother, though.
I feel like I don't want to like instantly walk into
Teach
a room,
me.
have her bird slam into your window and say, "Teach me shit." It's not exactly the polite impression you want to make.
You're also not in year 14, so you don't have to do the convincing now.
No, but she's definitely curious about all of this because being a druid is what she's good at. This is her thing, and the little flower reaching out to her was a big moment for her.
It never hurts to ask.
By now, as she's kind of sort of waiting for you to gather your thoughts, there's like 4 vines that have just completely entangled around her arm, like slid their way up, and are currently like embedding themselves in her hair, and she's kind of like shaking it away, at least from her hair, and so they like give up and just kind of like curl around her neck and kind of just rest right here.
They seem to be very fond of you.
And I'm very fond of them. All of them.
I would imagine so. It's a beautiful collection.
It's a lot of work to bring them all here, but it's a small bit of paradise inside this large city.
How long did it take you?
When I first got here, this nursery was only one of these greenhouses, and it was mainly used for food. Fast forward 15 years, and we're here now.
That's amazing. How many different types of plants do you have here?
684. From across
Very
5
impressive.
continents.
Which ones?
No, there's the Ixian one. You've got the Grillis.
You've got the crawl set. You've got Eosmar and the Vaikip Archipelago.
Did you travel to get them yourself, or did you acquire them from some people?
Only the archipelago did I acquire. The rest I got myself.
I imagine it's quite some journey to all of those.
Well, I had journeyed when I was younger, and so, as I'm sure you've been taught, I can, as long as I know of a correct plant, I can make my way back there.
Transport via plants. I'm walking towards that one.
I always suggest finding the oldest tree and becoming close with it, because usually those will outlive us all, if they've already made it this far.
And how else do you find the oldest tree?
She kind of looks at you bewildered for a moment. Talk to them, of course.
I need to start stalking, talk to plants more.
How else are you going to hear them? What is it you desire, child? Though our conversation is warming, I can tell it's not what you are really here for.
To learn.
As I'm sure you've dealt with in the past, learning is not an quick process.
No, it is not.
Especially learning something that you've never learned before. What specifically are you trying to learn?
How to become the best druid I can be. To help those I care about. And to be closer to the world around me, I guess.
Well, the rudimentary stuff, the basic things are easy enough to teach, with time, obviously. But to become the best druid you want to be, I guess it would be easier for you to create than it would be just to learn. Everyone's different. I can help get you to this numeric 20 without a problem. But as far as creating your own flavor, creation's easier than duplication.
I will definitely be doing that.
Just know that to help you further along, just your overall knowledge, it may be a shock to your system to learn a different way. It's not as easy as it sounds.
And it doesn't sound easy.
Basically, she's saying that if you want to learn from her, you're going to have to pick a different circle.
That's what I figured. But with druid stuff, the cap for all the circle stuff is 14. So I would have learned everything for land druid. It's just the additional stuff to it.
But the way that she teaches, and she would have to teach you, is basically she'd be going back and then reteaching forward. So luckily you know all the basic stuff, so you can catch up and get the changes, the features and traits shift would happen, with possibly being able to have some holdovers. So it's sort of like a multi-circle situation. But yeah, so if you want to learn past 14 from Mazoga, it'd be a circle change.
That's a big decision that Nori would have to think about.
Yeah, it's not a lightly one, and she's not trying to say that it would be. Yeah, she's Circle of Wildfire.
Your wisdom is much appreciated, even if I don't quite know how to apply it yet.
These decisions don't need to be made quickly or harshly. But if you come to a time where you've decided and already, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Can't let my friends, as she kind of gestures to all the plants, go unattended.
Nor should they be.
She
Was
kind of like looks over towards Racha, who's over with the cactus, still introducing and telling the story, like Charlie's story, as best as he could, and kind of doing like the doll thing that kids do, where they to make both sides of the conversations.
He's just mimicking it all, sort of thing, but yeah, he's contemplating if it's helping or not. He has no idea.
You have no idea. But she kind of eventually just...
They've conversed enough.
And he just sort of like realizes he's helicopter parenting a little bit, so he'll leave him there to coerce with his friends and head back over to the group. Or head back over to the conversation.
Are you leaving your friend to join mine?
Quick question. And he'll pull out his short bow that has seen better days, it seems like. And
as soon as you bring it
then,
out, she kind of gets a worried look on her face and extends her hands.
yeah, he'll hand it over and mimic the herbalist or whoever it was that spoke to him and said, "You're going to need a powerful druid to talk to that."
As she reaches out and grabs it from you, the vines that were ringing up her arm and around her neck now kind of like feel their way across the bow, sparking some reaction of the different vines and such that are on your bow, and others, the more like blackened ones, no response. And you see the vines kind of like almost tapping them, like trying to wake them up, like not to give morbid images, but almost like
Simba, Dad, wake up.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a dog and a past dog, like the dog doesn't understand the other dog's gone. So yeah, it's kind of that scenario, and you kind of see like almost a tear show up in Mazoga's eyes, and she kind of looks at you and just asks, "May I?"
Of course.
And so Oh no, this is early Mazoga. Sorry. Actual Mazoga is not a wildfire druid. She is a spore druid.
That sounds even cooler than the other druid.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
Mushroom Queen. Mushroom Queen.
Give Nori a mushroom.
Except that the stronger female spider will actually make a meal out of the male spider. So in order to hopefully minimize the interaction.
Oh wait, this is bad.
What about the
Why-
male spider?
Yeah, some spiders getting eaten. What's up?
Oops.
All right.
Spider TikTok.
Okay. So, as she's holding the bow, you see as somewhere from beneath her robes, which her sleeves go about halfway up the forearm, these green and gold spores start to funnel out from the sleeves and encompass the hand and encompass the vines that are like investigating, as well as all the growth along the bow itself, completely obfuscating what you can even see. It's just this green and gold, like, shining light around the bow. After about a minute of these spores just pouring out and constantly making this light bigger and bigger and bigger, they start to just, like, it almost like they detach and they speculate. They become tiny specks. And show underneath. The vines that were there investigating also benefited from this. Being 4 almost green bean thick sized vines are now like each a quarter to half an inch thick. Like they got a massive boost from this. And they kind of like retract and pull away from the bow itself and kind of reform back into their growth pattern along the back wall of the middle of the table. And you now see almost disgustingly like intense throbbing from different portions of the vines across the bow itself, and some of like the leafage is like twitching, and it's all getting revitalized, and so it's just getting juiced up basically until it all kind of like calms down, but it's no longer black. The black portions have like a dark tint to them, but they seem to at least be moving once again and coming back to life. She kind of holds the bow as if you would shoot it and reaches out a hand about 4 inches away from the bow itself. And you see a tendril of a vine kind of reach out and lean towards her until she, like E.T. touches the end of the vine. And you see her mouth moving, but no words come out. You, Nori, can see, and you're catching a couple druidic verbiage, but since she's not speaking, you don't really read lips.
Yeah, I've got the observant feat. That's one of the actual things of it.
Oh yes, Druidic's like thieves' cant. It's its own thing. You can't really read. Because you have that, you have enough to be like, okay, I know she's talking Druidic. I get the gist of some of the words she's saying, but again, you're also not a spore druid, so it's like its own language. It's like it's complete its own. It's like a different dialect.
Same words, but in a different context that would means something completely different, probably.
And she's also using the spell to commune with it. So it's kind of that there's that barrier to it. But it kind of, as it's like very tenderly tapping the tip of her finger, it sort of kind of like wraps around the finger quickly, like 3 wraps, and sort of like she lets her hand loose, and it kind of like almost like the wave motion moves her hand a little bit before kind of like playfully jumping to some of the other fingers, and then she kind of like lets go, and the vine retracts back and circles around the top notch of the bow and tightens the string so it's back to working fashion.
My son has something like this.
And she kind of hands it back to you.
What happened to it?
Well, as you know with nature, neglect can kill anything. Especially something so lively and full of energy as this. So make sure you, even if you don't use it in battle as much, at least once a day, take it out and do what it was made to do.
The child just sort of like looks down at it and like nods and is like, "I'm sorry."
She says it's okay. There's more to her, but unfortunately only a druid can unlock that potential.
He like, she?
Yes?
Plants can be male and female.
Name?
Her name... Where did it go? I miss you so. Short bow. Acacia. Full name is Akatendor. But she thinks that's a little pretentious.
Acacia up to Tendo.
Luckily you mimic perfectly, so you said exactly what she said.
Exactly. He's like,
Not Acacia Nintendo.
he's like, ooh. He goes running over and picks up Charlie. He's like, name? He's like, its name is Charlie. In Nori's voice, because that's what she said the weed's name was way back when.
Wait, no, that was a different plant, Rachel.
Don't worry, he liked that name and has adopted it as well.
More power to you.
So yes, it's Charlie.
He'll go running back over and put Charlie back down. And then come back. Acacia. My tree friend here, and like holds it up to Nori.
I guess I take it? I just kind of look at Rachel and go, you want me to hold it?
Unfortunately, it would not work for her.
Why?
Because it's bonded to you. You don't give up friends like that, or, as she's saying, the flock?
Nori hands back the bow immediately.
And when
Family heirloom.
when you kind of grab it, some of the vines like reach out to you, Richaw, and like grab the back of your hand.
Druid more powerful. And like he's looking at the bow, talking to it.
She says she doesn't mind. She'd rather be with you.
Well, if you say so.
If Nori comes back for some training, I could take you under my wing as well.
The multi-classing in the potentially 4 different classes. Character.
So many.
I did the same thing with my son. Just taught him enough to communicate.
He kind of looks down at Acacia now again, and I think I'd like that.
You see one of the flowers bloom.
Well, whenever you decide, I'll be here.
Thank you, Mizoga.
She nods.
You might want to go get your friend over there, though. Too much time in the blood petals, and, well,
Bryn!
she's gonna get high.
Noted.
Bryn, you are on cloud fucking 9 right now.
Love it. It's great.
You're no longer hungover. And
Wonderful.
it is like an interesting trip. You're just like
Nori's going to go over to Bryn, take her hand, and gently drag her away.
We need one of these for our house.
No, we do not.
Kaporin's never going anywhere ever. Because he's just going to try to make our house a fucking trap of some
why do you think
stupid
all
shit
this
with
was
drugs.
brought to you guys when he wasn't around?
Love it.
Kaporin's just out looking at smut. I don't know what's going on with Kaporin right now.
The child looks at Bryn and is like mushrooms a little too much towards Mizoga.
Are you saying that to Mizoga?
Yeah, I'm like indicating towards Bryn.
She just chuckles at that statement.
How you feeling, Bryn?
You muted.
What?
There you go.
I feel a lot better, actually. I'm glad we came here.
I am too.
She's gonna definitely try to stay in the little area, but she won't fight too much.
And Nori's like pulling her away. It's like, okay, we're done with the blood petals now.
She absentmindedly grabbed like 4 and shoved it in her pocket.
It's just those ones that do it. It's not the others. Wonderful.
So you got your secret stash of sniffing stuff.
Did I just like grab 4 flowers?
4 petals.
Oh, 4 petals.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not enough to actually do anything except like help extend your high a little bit, but on their own it's not enough.
How long does this last?
Anti-magic coffee and high flowers. Great morning.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, you know.
And once she gets out in the rain, it'll clean her up.
Probably bring back the hangover too, huh?
No, that should be gone.
Ooh.
Does it cure seasickness? In Kaparin's voice.
No, it's just a pain reliever.
You basically got high on codeine. Bryn's over
That
there doing
one
oxy.
thing.
Is there anything else?
Come back anytime.
Yes?
Charlie, stay?
He seems to have made quite a few friends, thanks to you.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
We're gonna have to
You're a
work on
good
his
plant
language,
dabber,
though.
Joe.
Keeps talking about fucking a queen.
Yeah, that would make sense. He is
Shaw
Charles
goes over,
Cactus.
like, pats the cactus, and is like crass and indelicate. He just like looks so proud for a plant dad.
My son.
Mazoga just turns to you and goes,
Indubitably? What?
Quite.
Charlie speaks in weird words.
He's speaking like his father.
yes.
I learned it from you.
Let's see if we can work on Charlie's speech.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
Nori
time
is
you guys-
contemplating.
Next time you guys come back, all the plants are talking like it. You guys walk in. Mazoga just kind of shudders.
What happened? They all just screamed, "Could have fucked the fucking queen for that."
I mean, to be fair, we have tried to give Richa other dialogue that's not as vulgar, and he's just like, all right, noted.
Well, to be
Never gonna use it.
To be fair, Richa likes reactions, and something like that gets the most reaction.
Find out more where that came from if he ever wants to learn.
Gotta read some of these books that Caparin got.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
I wouldn't
It's
be
a
able to say
very
them.
bad
You
idea.
would need Kaporn to read it out to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say them. I would be able to write them down though.
You ask Kaporn for story time, Kaporn will give you story time.
Richa goes to write some new paperwork in another city somewhere so he can go to the academy. And on the paperwork it just says,
And he slid his hand beneath her dress.
The tender caress of the. But
Nori
yes,
would thank Mazoga.
yeah. If Charlie felt comfortable here, he'd leave him here because the road life is not one for a cactus.
sometimes these parental decisions you gotta make. Alright,
Nori will pat Rachanko. That was a very smart decision.
He's probably a good egg.
He is a good egg.
so with that, Mazoga gestures and has a few plants also kind of wave you guys out as you leave the greenhouses and then the nursery. By this time, Polly, you have made your way. After shuffling and doing all the errands necessary, you're finally down to the south wall. And looking around for your sister, as is true Laverne fashion, you do not see her before you hear her. And up on some of the ramparts, she seems to be yelling down to some of the people who are working with the alchemical fire. She goes,
Well, you throw like a girl, and not even a good one.
I will come out from underneath into the rain and actually she's up on the rampart, right?
yeah.
Okay. Is Kuramarsh around anywhere?
Currently, no, not where you're at.
Okay. I will head up there and engage.
Whoever she was yelling at seems to be retorting in some way, and she seems to be sitting up here eating something and watching everyone practice. She goes, "Oh yeah,
In the
let me
rain?
show you." Yeah, she doesn't care. And she kind of like stands up and takes out what looks to be like a hard piece of bread and just yucks it down. And you hear someone go, "Oh fuck!" And then you hear, boom. And she just starts fucking laughing, slapping her knee, back, like leaning back and forth, just fucking completely laughing as you hear a bunch of shuffling and going, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Well, now that you've had your fun and wasted our cousin's money, will you come into the rain? Mom sent me with lunch.
Oh, no, Polly. Yeah. So it's going to take them a while for them to clean it up anyway.
And I will walk into the, like, whatever it is that, like, that, you know, the
Yeah.
area that is not covered in rain.
Yeah, they've got eaves off the back of the ramparts, so you can be underneath and pitch a quick lunch.
So, as we lean up and are kind of eating, so, what are you doing? What are you doing here?
Well, I mean, I'm watching everyone else fail at their
Besides
qualifications.
the obvious. What are you doing here?
Being bored.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that you're taking contracts.
Yeah, so what of it? Make a little extra money.
Yeah, but is it really what you're supposed to be doing?
Well, what are you supposed to be doing when you come back from the dead?
Finding something to do with your life besides ruining other people's.
I don't know, I'm pretty good at it.
I know you are. I know you are. I don't know. I don't think that you belong here anymore. Not that I'm saying go away forever.
Well, it
Nothing
kind of
like
sounds
that.
like what you're saying.
No,
Jeez,
it's not
would
what I'm
Mom put
saying.
you up to this?
You know me better than that.
Okay, Dad.
No, not quite. I actually talked to Mom about it, but she didn't put me up to this. I wanted you to come with us.
Oh,
Why?
yeah? Where are you going?
North to the ice sheet.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it would be the best place for you.
Right about Soulbrun is about as far north as I want to go. I don't really like, the chafe that comes with the cold.
I mean, there's a village up there that's pretty great, but yeah. Besides that, yeah, you wouldn't be into it anyway. I don't know. I don't know. You just seem without a purpose right now, and I want to help, but I don't know how.
Well, I'm just trying to get back the years I lost, enjoying my time. I'm making money, having fun. I don't see the harm.
Well, I've known you our whole life, and the only time you make this much trouble is when you're super bored and need to go do something. And I know that's why we kind of joined the military, but
That and to get
You're-
paid to beat people up. I mean,
yeah. So why didn't you go with Hawkus and beat people up? I mean, it would be. I mean, you get paid, and you'd be doing something you love to do, and it would be with someone that you know, so it's not like you're leaving.
yeah, but then he's gonna come back.
Is he gonna come back?
Yeah, he's got more supply to bring.
Well, I mean, back and forth, see Mom and Dad. Or
Well,
He
they
was
obviously
telling
don't
us-
want to see me.
I didn't say that either.
You think me
But,
being unconscious for 3 years, they'd be cool with me being around, but I guess not.
well, I mean, have you given him a break? They've been taking care of you for 3 years.
And I appreciate that, hence why I'm making money, giving it to them for everything that I could. But it's not like I'm sitting at home every day not doing anything. I'm out here.
Causing trouble, making messes. Drinking until you can't stand up so that I have to carry you upstairs to your bed. Yeah, that sounds like a really productive life.
Well, I mean, the drinking thing, I just try to catch up to Dad.
Yeah, nobody needs to catch up that far. He's got 200 years on us. At least.
Gotta start young.
Yeah, well, we've all started there.
What's this about, really?
It's about you. It's exactly about you. It's about all the shit that we used to do. It's about the fact that you used to be happy and now you're just bored and annoying.
Well, I was happy when there was stuff to be happy about. Now I'm bored
But
and
what's-
annoyed because, well, it's boring and annoying.
So, what would make you happy?
I don't know.
Well, nothing here is doing that.
Well, to be fair, that guy I just beamed in the head with the bread, that made me pretty happy.
Yeah. How long is that going to last? How many people do you have to hit in the head with bread?
There's a lot of bread here.
I don't know. I think you should go. And to be honest, I'm leaving too. And I don't know if I'm going to come back. Don't tell Mom and Dad. I just don't feel like I belong here anymore.
Well, I mean, the whole different dimension thing.
Yeah, it's not that though. It's not like you guys have changed. Not like you're any different than you were before. I mean, except for the whole being asleep for 3 years thing. But,
Well, that'd be a pretty big difference.
and the fact that, well, the Otis thing.
She kind of looks at you,
Um,
curious.
Oh, they didn't tell you? So where I came from, Otis died.
She kind of gets visibly sad at this.
And here he's alive. So I don't think I can go back. And I know that I don't want to. But the problem is I can't get a hold of him right now either. So I need to deal with that on my own. And honestly, I don't think that anything you're looking for is here. I think it's out there somewhere.
Well, either way, I've already told Marsh that I'd help train these pieces of shit. I swear, none of them can
By
throw
himself.
to save their lives.
He doesn't need your help for this.
Well, I'm being paid for it, so I might as well do some of it.
I guess so.
But after, I'll think about it. Now that there's a navy,
should.
maybe jump on one of those boats.
I mean, I don't know. If I wasn't going up north with this party, I'd definitely hang out with Hawkus as well. I mean, he's starting a brand new outpost, he was telling us. And he's gonna need someone to run it. And damn if you're not the meanest person I know.
Well, I mean, don't flatter me, but
I mean it in the most loving, sincere, cuddly way.
Now you're just making it gross.
I'm not cuddling with you. Ugh.
I've thought about the Navy. Wouldn't mind seeing some new places. Going back and forth or getting stuck in an outpost somewhere doesn't sound like fun to me.
I mean, but he's back up here all the time.
Yeah,
And
like I said,
if
I
he's
wouldn't
back
want
up here now, that means he'll be branching out.
Ixia's boring to me. I've been in every district. Got laid in almost every town. Drinking every type of alcohol.
And his outpost is in Cydia.
Great. Place where the little countries inside have one town that actually is worth a damn. That shouldn't take
Yeah.
long to go through.
It's a little bigger than you think. I'm pretty sure. I mean, kind of wish you'd been there for the wedding. It was really good.
Well, I still didn't have the full function of my legs yet, so.
By the way, I've only been gone 2 months. Okay, maybe 3.
She kind of looks
Not
at
the 6th that you think.
I don't even want to ask with your multi-dimension ass.
Yeah, we got stuck in space.
And again, you realize why I'm like, fuck City, huh? I want to go see some other shit.
I mean, there's other continents.
That's right, hence the Navy.
Just don't go too far.
Well, do hear they have a plane rider ship. Pretty
Yes,
cool to
they
get on
do.
that.
It's okay.
Of course you've been.
Yep. I've been in an underwater dragon turtle.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get some other stories to top yours.
I guess you better. And you better get on it, too. Just don't forget, I can always get a hold of you.
We'll see about that.
Oh, you're gonna get caught in interdimensionally and not be able to talk to me for years?
Well, I just made a friend a while back.
Did you?
Yeah. He's working on a little trinket for me.
Yeah. Do tell.
When it's done.
Oh, come on.
Well, I can't give all the goods out right away.
Well, it's not like I'm gonna take it.
Well, let's make sure that he can actually do it before.
Alright.
He's a pretty good wizard, though, and I think he's got a handle on it.
What's this guy's name?
Let's keep the secrets to ourselves.
Alright, well, finish your lunch. Get back to work. I got stuff to do, too.
She just devours in large hand and mouthfuls,
As she's-
saving a good portion of bread.
As she puts the last bite in her mouth, I smack the back of her hand so she gets shoved into her face.
She's gonna kick the small, like, footstool you guys have been using as a table at you.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ, she just fucking sends it flying past your head. You go, pow! And she goes, kick, and it just goes, she rolled a natural 19.
And then we hear a, "Ow, bitch!"
She's got bread ammunition now, she's fine.
Yeah, that is my cue to leave. I will see you at dinner.
As you kind of, like, quickly get up and Like, say that as you're moving away, she starts to tear off a piece of the hard bread. Does a 21 hit?
Of course it does.
Just think in the back of the head.
All right, fine. When you get off, we'll meet. We'll meet at the tavern. And I will make my way over to Masoga's house to see if Earthamarsh is around.
He currently is not. Kuramarsh is, and he would tell you that Earthamarsh went home. He went back to go see their brother's grave.
Okay.
So he went back.
How
up
long
the
ago did he
mountains.
leave?
I believe it was like 2 weeks ago.
Then I will head back to the inn and look for Kaporin, and on my way I will mentally and not out loud send a message to Earthamarsh, just a really quick, how are you doing, what's going on, heard you were home for a bit, blah blah blah, that stuff.
Okay. So, as you make your way back there, Kaporin, you eventually had made your way down the street, got to the skeleton closet. Going inside, you see a interesting cadre of different clothing and recreational wear and items.
I have two things in mind already. Just ask for.
This place excels in sort of Racha wear. Best way to put it for this group.
The future of Fiona's business. Let's get it right.
As well as like club attire. So it has a range of like, you know, could be something like skin tight black dresses all the way down to leather hoods and whips.
Warren's immediately looking for, well, now that he knows what the store is, a whip, a choker for a chaw,
Spiked one. Okay.
and it's a spiked one, and probably a leather hood if he can find find one to fit him. I don't know. He just thinks it looks cool. If a wait,
So a zipper hood. Okay.
You realize there's like a front face mask portion to that, right?
yeah, Kaporin's not wearing it. He just thinks it looks cool and is gonna offer it to like the next head that we sever off.
Okay.
Bag slash bank
like-
robber mask.
No, he's getting the full zipper one. So it has zipper for eyes, zipper for mouth, and the zipper
So it's
for the whole
basically
head.
gonna become the head bag after Kaporin's done with it.
Okay. Okay. So, are you looking for? They have different types of whips. They have like the oh, you're bad type of whip, and then they have the fucking bull whips.
For like a 9-tail. Or a bullwhip would be perfect.
Okay.
Kaporin's going down a very odd path today.
Okay, so for a full whip, it's 2 gold. For the choker, it's gonna be 5 silver. And for the leather hood, it's gonna be another 5 silver, so it could be 3 gold altogether.
3 gold altogether. Okay.
And don't worry, this store was created because of Vinny, not because of Kafora.
I'm glad to know that Vinny has been here before.
Vinny stocked up an entire bag full of stuff here.
Concerning.
Yes.
He was the other peace holder, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, try being his party member.
Probably waking up in the middle of the night, hog-tied.
None of it was for me.
Polly always made sure to sleep in a different room.
But yeah, Capone just wants the 3 items if he finds them. Or wants the 3 items and
Yep.
he'll give 3 gold.
Okay.
Mine wasn't looking for much more smut than that.
I think you're smutted out today.
Capone is so smutted out today. He already has 3 novels he has to start reading.
Full smut. Okay. So with that, leaving the place, getting everything in your bag, heading down towards the end and reconnoitering with Polly eventually. So that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Sorry, we went a little bit longer. Everyone got something that they needed to get done today, and Bryn got high. So everyone got something done, and then Bryn got high. That was pretty much.
Hey, I got answers for things I've had questions about for months, so I'm happy.
But Bryn no longer has a hangover, so that's, number 1 priority right there.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty, guys. So any questions?
No more smut, please.
Stop looking for the smut. All right.
I feel like that's a you problem, babe.
You went looking for it. That's why you found it.
You literally asked the guy for it.
He got directed to it.
You could have said, I kind of just want
I'm
this book.
good.
I haven't finished it yet. I need something else. But no, you're like,
I want to look
let's
for
go.
bardic books. I want to look for stuff on magic. I want to do these things. Nope. We're going to get some smut.
Hey, Capone got kind of like tracked, like he was tracked along
Railroaded.
because he showed up. Yeah, he's railroaded. He didn't have much way of choice. It's just like one thing happened after another, and that's where he ended up.
Should have made the
Nobody
proprietor-
made you walk into that store.
Should have made the proprietor hot too. And would never have left.
Polly would have came lost and never. Capone was just not nowhere to be
Polly comes
found.
by. Why is this place closed?
We're just like 4 separate things happening through this entire thing. We have Amor passed out. We have Polly having family time. We have the plant crew, and then we have Horny Boy.
Yep.
That is the extent of this session.
Pretty much. Alrighty, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If I don't talk to you all before then, have a great weekend, and we will be back on Monday.
Hey, night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night, y'all.
Thank you all for those who stay with us. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.